Thank you for joining me for yet another unboxing video. And today it's a continuation of the introduction three-pack for the role-playing game VHS-Very Horror Stories. Again, I was a backer on Kickstarter, and if you go and take a look, I have put up pictures of everything that was included in that Kickstarter that I picked up, which included 2 3-packs of games, and also a horror fest, some extra dice, and the short horror stories, and a couple extra bonus packs of stuff that they threw in there, and of course also the VHS spin-off. But there's so much material came along with this, and I know they're going back to Kickstarter for a 3rd time. Personally, I'm highly recommend this. It's such high quality. You get so much good stuff from it. I would definitely pick it up, and it's such a great system. But again, each one of these are individual. So with this initial box set that came out, Press Play and Scream by VHS. Again, this is an Italian company, and I picked this up. Again, it's a Kickstarter exclusive, so I don't know of any stores that carry this. So the reality is you can only pick it up online, which I'll give you the website in a little bit. But here you go. In this introductory box set, you had 3 different types of adventures. You had Bloodlust, which is a traditional 80s horror. You have Overplay, which is more science fiction horror. And of course, now the last one we're going to be talking about today is Unchained. Unchained is more with your psychological horror. So why don't we put this to the side and crack this bad boy open. This way you can get a feel and flow for what we've been talking about in the previous 2 videos. So let's take a look at Unchained. Again, a house of horrors with a creature underneath it. Down here it gives you a little bit of information about the company. VHS, again, Very Horror Stories, is an Aces Game production. Again, the name of the company that created all this material is Aces Game. For more information, go to acesgame.it, which means Italy. So again, it's acesgames.it. So let's crack this bad boy open and see what kind of goodness we have on the inside. Now, all of these box sets pretty much has the exact same things inside them. And when I say that, they're set up the same way. So again, it's a recall back to the 80s when videotapes were the norm, not regular DVDs, not Blu-rays. Now it's streaming services. Nope. Before that, we used to have something called a VHS, and you would take that tape out of just like this. You would take it out of the container. Usually it was plastic, not cardboard. And then what would happen is that you would take this, and you push it in right into the player. And what would happen, you don't see this, but inside it, where it says here, this would pop up. The tape here would start rolling this way, and it would go across to some rollers that are inside the machine, and that's how you would watch. The movie would then be played from the tape that's actually right here, that's inside here. Again, we're gonna pop this open. Again, extremely clever, really well designed product. Really gives you that feel for the 80s, for living in the 80s. I mean, I'm 54 years old, so I went through all this, so I know exactly what a VHS player is and all this other good stuff we got here. Okay, so every one of these, they're individual stories, so they're actually considered they're considered movies. So in the Unchained movie, every box set has a different rule book inside. So it'll have the core rules at the beginning, and then as you go through here, it just gives you the basic ideas of what the game's all about, how to set up as the movie director. So you're the director of all these games. You have directors, and then you have victims, or the people who are playing the good guys in the role-playing game. They're taking on the roles of the main characters of the story, obviously. As the director, you're the one who's in charge of making sure that everything's set up and gets the game rolling the movie in the right direction. Again, it gives you again, this is a lot of information here. I'm not going to spend the time reading all through it. It's 100 and some 180 something pages of information here. So obviously I'm not going to read all that. But as you go through here, you'll see right off the bat, it just kind of gives you a little bit of information on Kickstarter. Thank you to people, as they always do. Got the prologue. So let's read that real quick. Welcome to VHS. Who are you? Explorers in the further regions of experience. Demons to some, angels to others. Christy Cotton, Pinhead, Hellraiser, 1987. An ode. Again, this whole series is an ode to 80s, different types of 80s horror films. Welcome, welcome. Make yourselves at ease. Take a seat on the couch or wherever you think it suits you the best. Not that any of this is relevant. You will not remain seated for long. Just give me a moment to find a remote. Ah, there it is. Your faces tell me you have no clue of what is about to happen, have you? Worry not. You will have your answer when I press this button. Who would think a small white triangle like this would begin everything, Oh, begin what, you ask? Horror, of course. Now, here we go. We'll read this real quick. VHS is a role-playing game inspired by horror classics such as Halloween, Alien, Nightmare, and many more, in which your goal will be surviving the horrors of the world, whether ours or another much darker one. You might find yourself fleeing from a grove and a bloodthirsty murderer, breaking out of a house inhabited by a family of cannibals, destroying a starship infested with carnivorous aliens before it can reach Earth, performing a ritual to banish a demonic creature back to its native dimension, and many other weird circumstances. If you've ever watched a horror movie, I am sure that these first lines have made you think of a few classic movies already. All right, so there we go. That's it. So again, then it goes into what is a role-playing game. Gives you the basic introduction as to what it's about. Then it gives you a table of contents. Because some people might pick this and be like, oh, what is this? And then all of a sudden they find out it's a role-playing game. Some people have never done it before. So they go, well, what's a role-playing game? And then it gives you a breakdown about that. Introduction to how to play horror, the different roles of fear, making sure that you have it. Foundation of tension, certain death, setting the mood. I scream with you, you scream with me. We all scream for ice cream. We got it. And then playing Unchained. Now, the introduction, demonic incursion, the summoning. You have rise, random rituals, diabolic crescendo, and select work. The path to salvation, mixing things up, a vice for hellscaping, a blast from the past. All different ideas in here. And it tells you about the main set of how to set this all up. Side sets. It says static elements, various items, moving about a set, exploration as people go around. Again, you're going to get a map, you're going to get some tokens, you're going to get some storylines, you're going to get some character sheets, and then, of course, you're going to take on the roles. You're going to be either the GM or the movie director of Unchained, and then everybody else will be the cast of characters that will be going through the adventure itself. But again, the layout is really great. If there's one thing that I have a complaint about, being that I'm a little bit older, I'm 54, it would be nice if the words were a little bit bigger. But again, if the book was bigger, it would cost more money. This was a pretty penny, but at the same time, it is definitely worth it because you get so much stuff in this Kickstarter. So that's why I'm a proud backer and really love what VHS and the whole theme that they have here. Again, I'm a huge horror fanatic. So again, different sets they talk about, and then eventually you go through all this work here as the GM, and then you basically gives you a background fluff about the different characters that are going to be playing in your film, and then eventually it will roll on to the different monsters, of course, that you're going to be fighting against. Again, this is all GM information, and then eventually it leads you to, if you want to create your own monsters, you want to use ones here, different items you may find throughout the entire thing. And then it comes to the chapters of the film. The film, that's what you're going to be playing. So you have a composition of a film, you have the setup, you have the script, the introduction, and the final scare, and the deliverance of, to make sure that you're having fun here. Okay, and you could also shows you how to do a solo mode as well. And you have your final girl characters and different things that you're going to have here. So that's your solo mode. Okay, so again, as you continue to go through here, it's just giving you basic information about everything. All right, so then it just basically breaks down all the different characters and what's going to happen in your films. And this is what you got here: the script, what you have to read, the background information, and all that stuff here. So again, it tells you the number of the film. So you're going to go back here. All right. That's film number 4. So let's go back a little bit here. Let's find our film. Let's go through here so we can find these. All right, Cult of the Keeper. Okay, film number 1. There it is. So the first adventure is the Cult of the Keeper. Then we have the Dames of Catastrophe. So we're going to continue on. Then we have film number 3, Death at Work. Again, you could use each of these as a one-shot, or you can have it as a complete storyline. Feast of Pain. From Hell with Pleasure, film number 5. And then this is all the details about the film. And again, I don't want to give away anything either. Film number 6, The House of Torment. So as we continue to move through here. Film number 7, The Last Summoning. Number 8, The Leering Demon. Film number 9, Soul River. And number 10, Vow of War. And then, of course, if you want to create your own, it gives you an overview of how to go about doing that as well. So it gives you a lot of information in these books. Again, for more information, go to acesgames.it. It's www.acesgames.it. Of course, they're over in Italy, but they do speak English, and they do translate everything. So they have Italian and also English as well. But that's your core rulebook. That every one of the different films that you purchase has a rulebook for that individual film in there. Okay. You also get a set of tokens. Tokens are nice. They're small, but nice, thick tokens. There's stuff on the front and the back, so I'll just show you these as well. If you saw the previous unboxings, you're going to notice a lot of these are the same. The fronts are the same, but as you flip them, the characters from the stories now are included there as well. As you got some flags, you got some death's heads, you got a house, and you got something else down there, some kind of, looks like weapons down there. So there you go. A combination of different things right there. Those are your there is your tokens. Now they also give you your character sheets, and you'll have your villains and your heroes of the story. So let's take a look at the heroes first, and then the villains. So we've got here, and all the cards are set up identically. They're all set up the same way. The information is different, but they're set up exactly the same way. So you got your photo, or your picture, or your artwork of your character. You have, now again, it says Ashton Bell is William Carter. Of course, that's the actor's name, and that is your character. So it'd be William Carter. Gives you a little background information about that character. Again, then when you flip it over, it's all the detailed information that you would need to play this character during the game. So you have your instability, you have your wounds, parameters, you have your strength, agility, mind, and charisma. You have a special ability, he's a nightmare detective. Traits, he's an avid collector, says binding, explores calm, fearful flight, and the equipment that he has, concentrated warding amulet, revolver, ranged, stabilizers, 2, and then has a little quote at the bottom. Again, all the cards are set up identically. So in this game, can be either William Carter, Roger Johnson, the boxer, Mr. Rain, looks like a mathematics or science teacher, Iwana Ethel Balsarac, front and back, Elizabeth King, the Devil of Many Eyes is one of your villains. Again, when you look at your villains, again, it gives you fluff background information about the character. Again, your artwork. All the artwork is just fantastic on every single card, on every sheet of everything you get. The artwork is second to none. They really pay attention to details. It's really, really well done. Then you flip it over, all the stat lines are here. You have your fear counter, you have your wounds, your parameters, your special abilities, your traits, and of course your trinkets and any equipment that character may possess. Okay, then we have the Keeper Abbess, the man with the bowler hat, the Seeking Abbess, and the Workaholic. So there you have it. Again, show those pictures up close. Again, the attention to detail on these photos, on the artwork is just brilliant. Really, really, really captures the theme. Again, this is more like your pulp film, noir. So, like 20s and lots of psychological horror film right there. And then, of course, I'm going to put these to the side real quick. I'm going to put the rule book to the side. I'm going to put the character cards and your tokens to the side. Because what they also do, of course, during your adventure, you're going to be taking place in different locations. So they offer you as well some maps. So let's take a look at them. And again, these are in no specific order. So you have Studridge Steelworks. So just like a map that you would get at a local gas station, it unfolds just like that. You have a little picture of what the map looks like inside. I'll go over the back afterwards. It's a double-sided, but I always like to make sure, just like anything else. Now, these are not like your Paizo or your Loc battle mats, which have a they're dry erase. You can't do that on these. You cannot do that with these. You would ruin the maps themselves. So they are not dry erase, and you do not want to write on them. They're nice quality paper, but at the same time, they do not have. They are not laminated, and that's not going to be a good look for it. So right off the bat, let's just show you the different rooms that are in here. Again, this was called the Studridge Steelworks. So let's continue on. You got your A, your B. So these are the different rooms that you're going to be investigating. C and D. Then you have a little larger room, and E and F. You have G, H. Oh, there's I down there, so H, I are together. Sorry about that. Then we got J all the way by itself over there. Then you got K, you got L, and you got M. Then you have your full map. There's your full map right there. Now, when you flip this map over, just like in all the other boxes that I've shown you in the previous videos, you're going to want to turn this over. Now, so you got 4 maps. Let's say you have 4 players. On the back of every map, they have the rules for each player. So you've got your movement sequence. You've got your using fear counterpoints, combat turn order, escaping and crashing. Over here you have the capture sequence. You have all that stuff. It shows you and different examples of what tokens you're going to be using in it as well. So it gives you all the information right here, a cheat sheet for all your players. So again, you have 4 players. They don't look at the map. Once you do it, you turn it over. You say, hey, here's a guide for you. This is how you play the game. This is all the information you're going to need to know. So that's really, really cool as well. So again, that was your first one, which is Studridge Steelworks. Then we have the Cursed Mansion, which is obviously that place up there, I'm assuming. Again, you get the picture of the actual mansion there, small version of it, and you have the map itself. Again, these are all the locations that you're going to be going on when you're doing your film. All these are different locations that you're going to have to go into during the film. Now again, now that this is part of my collection, you can also say that if I want to use this for my own homebrew rules for a role-playing game, I could do that as well. I can use it for anything that I want. But again, the reason that I picked this up is because it has so much information in it, and it's such a good system. That's why I wound up making the investment into this. So again, we're starting off in A, over to B, C, D, which has a bathroom back there too. And you see all the doors, you see the attention to detail on everything. Very, very cool. Then we're going to go over here to E, Looks like there's F, which is another room. G. Then you got H. It's a corridor going around. And then you got H. I's right there. J. Then you have K. L. M is the outside maze garden, which reminds me of The Shining. H-I-J-K-L-M. N. Right there. N. And O is right here. And then we're looking for P. O. Oh, there's P. Then we go back down to here. We have Q. We've got R. You got S. And you got T. And again, there's your full map. And as I flip that over, once again, it's the same thing. Flip this over here like that. You've got your set of rules of how to play the game. Movement sequence, using fear counterpoints, combat turn order, escape and chasing, capture sequence. And that's all the rules you're going to need to know to play the game. So again, that was the Cursed Mansion. Put that up there. I'll flip it back up because I need the room for the others. Okay. And then we also have here, we have our Unchained, the Mountain Village. I'm going to pop that open like that. This, it's got the map. Okay, the Mountain Village. And then, as we always do. So again, the great thing about this game, just like, well, it's kind of like just like any other role-playing game. You could do it as a one-off, or you can do it as a campaign. It is totally 125% your choice. So you could use one map, solo game, boom, in, out, done. Don't need to go on to the other parts of the game. You pick which film you want to do. Again, what do we see? We had 10 different ones to choose from. You could start at the back, you could start at the front, you could do whatever you want to do. But if you want to play them in successive mode, you'd start from 1, work your way to 10, and these maps would go in accordance with the film, the part of the film that you're currently at. So again, we're talking about Mountain Village here. So let's take a look at Mountain Village. So there's your A, your B section, your C section, D, E, F, you got your G, H, I, J, there's your K right there, K's a little bigger, your L, over to M, N, O, P, down here, Q, R, S, and T, and U. And there's your complete map. Again, flip it over on the back. Instructions on how to play the game. Movement sequence using fear counterpoints, combat turn order. Then we have escape and chasing, and of course the capture sequence. There you go, and that was the Mountain Village, our third map. And our final map, which is included in the Unchained film, the Old Harbor. So as you can tell, just by me showing you everything we got here, you get a lot of bang for your buck. And again, all the artwork is great, the story is great. It's a really, really well thought out, really, really great Kickstarter. Again, they have a new one coming out relatively soon. Check them out either on GameFound or on Kickstarter. I forget which one they were on, but the reality is my recommendation is you jump on, definitely. Again, here's your A. Here's your B. Here's C. You got a dock in D. Here's section E. Section F. There's G. There's H. I is at the docks. J. K. There's L. There's M. N. OP. And the sunken ship is Q. And L seems to be a little raft that's in the center there, or that might be a place where you go dive into the water, your diving point. And there's your full map. And again, as you flip it over, and I turn this page over and you flip it over, again, this was the old harbor. Again, rules for how to play the game. You have your movement sequence using fear counterpoint, combat turn order, escape and chasing, and of course, then you have the capture sequence. Again, if there's any complaint that I had about the product, the only complaint I would have would be the actual size of the writing in the books. It's a little small. Again, I'm getting a little bit older, so I do wear glasses, but at the same time, it is a little bit more complex. So anyway, when it's a little, so what you're gonna get your 4 maps. So again, that's my only quick little complaint I have about the system itself. So, but again, when you purchase this, if you purchase this, you also get a PDF. So when I use my computer, I pop that on. I'll say I can adjust the font size to my happiness. So again, you get 4 maps. Again, you get your character cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 characters. Those are your main characters of the storyline. You get your villains. You get 5 cards of those. You get your pawn set. Now, one thing you'll notice is that the pawns are relatively small. And the reason they're small is because so they can fit right into the room just like that one there. See? So, but again, nice quality, really excellent product. No complaints whatsoever. So again, you get your 4 maps, you get your cards, your character cards, your villain cards, you get your token sheet, and of course you also get your core rule book, which has the introduction to the game, how to play the game, has everything. It's all encompassed into one rule book, which means that if you bought, you could buy this individually. If you want to just try it out, you could pick up just one copy of this. You don't need to get the box sets. I did the full all-in pledge, so I got everything. The whole, as they say, kit and caboodle. You don't have to do it. You can buy these individually. So if one is something that seems to tickle your fancy and you want to check it out, I highly recommend it. It's a really, really great system. So anyway, that's all that's included, and this concludes our unboxing of Unchained, a role-playing game movie from the company Aces Games. Again, it's VHS-Very horror stories, brought to you by Aces Games. For more information, go to www.acesgames.it. Again, they're based in Italy. And this is the 3rd and final installment of this series when we talk about the core box set, which included Bloodlust, Overplague, and of course, Unchained. All of these are sold individually if you choose to do so. So as always, thank you so much for joining me for this unboxing video. It's truly appreciated. If you enjoyed this video, you can always give us a thumbs up, leave a comment below. You can also hit that subscribe button. This way you're kept up to date as to any time we release new content to the page. As always, thank you so much for joining us. Be safe, be well, enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll catch you on the next unboxing video.